Oh, how's everybody doing? This is Fernando with my rose, which matches my shirt. Okay, but this is not Fernando the lover. That was back in my bachelor days, you know. I got someone not very close and special. She, may not want to be seen. And this flower is for her, for Mrs. Ramos. Mrs. Ramos, say hello to everybody there.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, yes, yes. Saturn in Libra. Delicious. But of course, we cannot continue until I get this delicious Malibu poured right there, just nice and, just right. Doing it and doing it and doing it right. Doing it and doing it and doing it right. Doing it and doing it and doing it right. Doing it and doing it and doing it right. Saturn in the cardinal sign of Libra, cardinal air. Understand that here we see an exaltation. Saturn is in its dignity in Capricorn, the sign that it rules, and it's in its detriment in the opposite, which is the Saturn in Cancer. But Saturn is exalted in Libra, and it's in its fall in Aries. But I carry the sword of Aries to give complement to the opposite polarity of Libra, which is Aries, the god of war. And I got 7 strips, which represents the 7th house in the birth chart that belongs to the cardinal sign of Libra. Saturn in Libra is exalted, which means that Saturn here has a favorite. Saturn has a favorite. Saturn seems to function at his best. The devil in the cardinal sign of Libra. Saturn in Libra. So let's jump right in and let's talk about Saturn in Libra. You understand that Saturn represents one of the 4 cardinal points. And it's a sign that deals with relationships and interpersonal relationships. It deals with cooperation, harmony, and balance. For human culture and for human society to have evolved, there had to have been a commonality among humans that separates us from the animals. An animal goes out in the woods and takes a shit because that's what he's supposed to do as an animal. And that right, madam? Miss Ramos. Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, she does not want to be seen. She's incomunicado. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I'm teasing her. Understand that we have come a long way from being animal-like, Neanderthal-like, nomads. Well, we didn't settle in camps or in villages, but we were, living day to day, no different from the animals, and shitting and pissing, and there were no toilet paper back in them days. So humanity was very raw and animal-like. And then something happened in the history of humanity where some extraterrestrials came down and infused their genes onto the ape-like, plant-like man at that time in his infancy, and bestowed him layers upon layers of bodies that gradually made him a human being, the kind of human being that we know today. Understand that this process of human and anthropological development took trillions of years. So understand that the type of human beings that we are today, well, we dress, we look nice, we go to parties and socialness, and we have homes and buildings. We actually got people to wipe our butt, you know. This height of human civilization could not have occurred without the cardinality participation of Libra. And Saturn in Libra is upheld here because Saturn, as the planet that provides structure and form, is very instrumental in creating structure and form to the development of humanity. So when you're born with Saturn in Libra, there is a sense of duty. Much love. Thank you very much to Stephanie Ella. I will stay safe and happy. Do understand that when you have Saturn in Aries or Saturn in Libra, but particularly Saturn in Libra, you are here to advance humanity. Now, in what way are you required to advance humanity is totally up to you, or it's totally up to what is seen in the birth chart. Saturn in Libra, and I know many people with Saturn in Libra that are excellent counselors, excellent psychotherapists, excellent social workers, or life coach. So understand that Saturn in Libra awards us a path that's no nonsense and goes to the heart of the matter. This is true regardless of the sign that Saturn is in. But when you have Saturn in Libra, there is a sense of moral and spiritual obligation to do the right thing. And not for your benefit, whether it's ego glorification or money, even though that all comes with Saturn. If you are a very good counselor and a very good confidant to your fellow human beings, there should not be any reason why you should lack money and prosperity. Saturn in Libra can make you quite prosperous. But understand that the prosperity inherent in Saturn in Libra is not just financial, it's spiritual and educationally, intellectually, groundbreaking, mind-boggling even. If you don't have anyone to talk to and relate your problems to another human being, that can cause you to commit suicide, harm yourself or others, because there's no balance. When you're born with Saturn in Libra, the inner impetus or impulse is to bring that person to balance. When you're born with Saturn in Libra, it's cardinal exaltation of Saturn. Understand that when you're born with Saturn in Libra, not only is there a moral sense of obligation to do the right thing, even when you're young, but that if you do not, there will be consequences to you going the opposite gradient or going against your own feelings. Saturn rules self-doubt and insecurity on deep levels. Saturn is a karmic planet. So these insecurities and shortcomings, which all of us have, regardless of the sign that Saturn is in, is something that we're bringing with us from many lifetimes. When we have Saturn in Libra, there is a consolidation of these accumulative errors or lost opportunities or lack of knowledge that now has to be addressed in order for the soul to continue moving forward in its evolutionary journey. So if you're born with Saturn in Libra, you can fall in two distinct categories. And I'm telling you this as an astrologer, but many spiritualists and mediums may have a different take on the matter. But they're not astrologers. I am. And as an astrologer and as someone who represents all astrologers, we do see a dichotomy here when we have Saturn in Libra. We can break it down into two factions. One is of cooperation, and one is of non-cooperation, which pulls to the opposite polarity of Aries. Hence why I carry the symbolic sword, which represents the opposite polarity of Libra. That means that there could be times where, please let me go back, there could be times where the path of least resistance is not the best option. Where you might have to wage the sword to bring about the balance that's required. So it won't be surprising if you're born with Saturn in Libra and you wage war in order to restore and bring balance. The war is justified by a moral obligation to bring something to balance that is morally incorrect. And that also is a principle of Saturn. So therefore, someone with Saturn in Libra may take it upon themselves or even collectively to fight the system, fight the status quo, and restore balance. It's not that much different than having Uranus in Capricorn. Saturn in Aries, in Libra, excuse me. I have it in Aries. Excuse me. The ego almost got in the way. Ms. Rambo, the ego almost got in the way. I was making it about me. Ew. I'm sorry, folks. I need another sip. The beat. Oh. All right. You gotta give me a little something. Because Saturn in Libra, can I talk truthfully? Can I talk honestly, Miss?
Please do.
Please, can I? It's boring. Like, put your finger in your mouth and go, It's boring. Saturn, I don't know which one is more limiting in expression, either Saturn in Virgo or Saturn in Libra. But understand that Saturn rules karmic conditions. So if you have, well, I like it. So if you have Saturn in Libra, you might have some karmic lessons that you need to restore to balance. You might have fucked up in other lifetimes when it comes to dealing with other human beings on an interpersonal level. So now that you have Saturn in Libra in this life, you're like, look, bitch, look, motherfucker, get this shit right. Learn to talk to some motherfucker. Learn to talk to somebody. Learn to be polite. Learn to be gracious. Learn to be civil, human. Be a human being instead of an animal. No? So if you have Saturn in Libra, you might need to learn to be a better human being towards other people. Saturn in Libra, the sign of its exaltation. I'm sorry. The beat just grabs me and it catches me off guard. My titos, Tito Rodriguez, Tito Rojas, Tito Nieves, Tito Gomez. There's a couple of more. Tito Puente. There's a couple of my Titos, my Puerto Rican Titos. And listen, I'm getting that tape. Oh, Tito Rojas. You can't, no, baby, you can't forget Tito Rojas. I can't help it. I can't help it. It's what I like. Understand that with Saturn in Libra, you could be boring. Fight that. Or you might attract people that are very older than you and might embark knowledge upon you, which can be useful, that can aid. You might attract father figures, long awaited and long needed father figures that can help restore you to balance or restore your situations to balance. Saturn rules the workplace and rules the career, and it is a patriarchal planet. So to have Saturn in Libra, and Libra rules the court system and the judicial system. So Saturn here can make you quite just, quite noble in character, and convicted in moral and ecclesiastical acts. Saturn in Libra. Now it's time for a spliff. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, baby. Oh, let me light. There you go, madam. Lovely. Oh, yes, yes. I wish you can be on the air, but she's very marino. She's marino. So, let me not get sidetracked. Understand that when you're born with Saturn in Libra, there's a moral sense of justice. There is a obligatory call. Like a call to the wild, there's a call, a calling to step up to the plate and do the do when you're born with Saturn in Libra. Oh, come on, my sword. Saturn in Libra. Oh, I run out. I gotta put a little more Malibu, just a little bit. We still got time, just a little time. And light my split. Now we got plenty of time. Yeah, guys, Saturn in Libra is very exacting. You are not just a person, but you are a professional person, carrying yourself with a certain demeanor, a certain dignified stance. Your gait is quite blanched, neutral, aseptic, and calculated. Because those born with Saturn in Libra are natural born strategists. And as a natural born strategist, your only goal and your only concern, really, is to reach the objective of your desires, which could mean trampling over people, using people, and using underhanded maneuvers to get what you want. This is, of course, talking about the negative expression of Saturn in Libra. We find this in the charts of those who are below age 30. You would think that once you reach the first Saturn return cycle, you learn to move forward and not be that type of person. But in actual practice, we have discovered that there are many people that are 30, 40, 50 with Saturn in Virgo that may not be as evolved as they should and may be lacking in moral character. This also is very possible for those who are born with Saturn in Libra. Oh. The beat, oh Lord. It just grabbed me. No, I'm not drunk. I'm quite sober. Listen, when you get to be 52, you don't get drunk anymore. I drink because I enjoy it, but I'm quite cognizant of what I'm telling you. So listen to that. Now, it's 3 in the morning. Don't expect me to look cute and peachy. You know me. Uncle Fernando is in the raw. I can be ugly and drugged out, fucked up, and still deliver the goods, and then look nice and cute and holy, the Virgo Virgin, which I know I could be, and not and still be the same motherfucker that's giving you what you need to know. So when you're born, oh, thank you, I look good, Uncle. Thank you. I try. Understand that when you're born with Saturn in Virgo, you could be a real mean motherfucker, a real bully, But such people usually have very traumatic backgrounds, an overbearing father, an abusive parent that might cripple those born with Saturn Libra. Oh, the beat. I love that island. Lord, it just makes me happy. I don't know what I would have done without my titos. I don't know what I would have done. Look, yes, it's just joy. The tears well up. The tears. Oh Lord, Saturn in Libra. I. Now, oh my God, the situation with the parents, fierce. When you were born with Saturn in Libra, it is a possibility that you grow up without your parents. Or if you have your parents, they take no participation in your upbringing. Your parents are right there. The motherfuckers are right there. But they are completely oblivious to your psychological and emotional development and are very hands off in your upbringing. That is a possibility if you're born with Saturn in Libra. I know. Oh, rico, cha, cha, cha. Oh my God. Tito Rodriguez, that's my nigga. Oh my God. I can't tell you. That music, there'll never be another Tito Rodriguez. Man, go crazy over him. What? I know it sounds so good. It made me so happy, baby. It made me so happy. And when I come back in my next life, I gotta come back Spanish. I don't want to come back any other culture than this one. It just makes me so happy. Or maybe it's my Venus in Leo. Give me a minute. Let me savor this beat. This is not Saturn in Libra, so I ain't gonna take a talk. This is Jupiter in Leo, or Venus in Leo. But we are talking about Saturn in Libra. Oh wait. Let me say what this beat. It's so delicious. Oh, I wish you could hear it. But RCA Records will sue me if I give you 18 seconds of this song. Oh my God. We're coming to a close. I'm so sorry. This was so much fun. More for me, I hope, than it was for you. But I hope you got something out of this segment. Guys, donate for content. www.paypal.me/thepeoplesastrologer. Thank you guys. I love you all.